The state of Maharashtra has become a battleground between the BJP and the Shiv Sena. Why? Over the arrest of two independent lawmakers, Navneet and Ravi Rana. Now, this face-off started over reciting the Hanuman Chalisa, and now it's a full-blown political slugfest. What happened? What is the latest? Here in this report. The political storm in Maharashtra over Hanuman Chalisa does not seem to be ending anytime soon. On Sunday, the Rana couple, who wanted to recite Hanuman Chalisa at the residence of Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, was sent to jail for 14 days by a Bandra court. The Uddhav government slapped sedition charge against the lawmaker couple, accusing them of taking on the state machinery. The Ranas accused the Uddhav government of trying to stall their Hanuman Chalisa chanting and framing them with fake charges.
हनुमान चालीसा मनासाठी जर खोटे गुन्हे दाखल करत असाल आमच्यावर हमारे ऊपर झूठे ऑफेंस दाखल किया मुख्यमंत्री ने हनुमान चालीसा का नाम लिया बजरंगबली का नाम लिया श्री राम का नाम लिया.
While the bail hearing for the Ranas has been deferred till 29th April, their lawyer called the case bogus.
इन्होंने जो हेट और डिसलाइक जो गवर्नमेंट के खिलाफ जो चीफ मिनिस्टर है उनके खिलाफ उन्होंने जो ये किया गवर्नमेंट मशीनरी को जो चैलेंज किया है उसकी तहत से इसको 124 लगाया.
This entire case is a bogus case. They have a very strong feeling that they are standing on loose ground. They are standing on loose ground. They know there is a possibility of release on bail. Therefore, they are prepared for a second FIR.
The Ranas, who are independent lawmakers from Amaravati, were taken for a medical checkup before being sent to prison. Back in their constituency, party workers performed a havan for this couple. The Bharatiya Janata Party has rallied behind the Ranas, calling Uddhav government's action a political vendetta.
मुझे तो लगता है कि महाराष्ट्र की सरकार एक महिला से इतनी डरी कि उनको लोग जमा करके उनके ऊपर हमला करने की नौबत आई. इससे शर्मनाक बात क्या हो सकती है?
The war of words escalated when BJP leaders Kirit Somaya and Mohit Kamboj alleged attacks by the Shiv Sena workers.
प्रवक्ता वो नेता की भाषा बोलता है, वो संजय राउत नहीं बोलते. उद्धव ठाकरे जो कहते हैं वो बोलते हैं. तो मुख्यमंत्री ये कहता है हम 20 फुट का गड्ढा करेंगे और उसमें विरोधकों को गाड़ देंगे जिंदा. ये मुख्यमंत्री और उनकी माफिया सेना की भाषा है.
किरीट सोमया अगर ज्यादा बोलेगा तो उनके मुंह में मैं कागज डाल दूंगा.
The Ranas had drawn the ire of the Shiv Senics after taking on the Uddhav government over Hanuman Chalisa recital. A group of angry Shiv Senics tried to target the Rana household in Mumbai. The high-voltage Hanuman Chalisa fight getting shriller by the day. With Pankaj and Dev Kotak, Bureau Report, India Today. So let's try and discuss and understand what's actually brewing there in the state of Maharashtra. I'm joined by Shaina NC as a BJP spokesperson. I'm also joined by Sahil Joshi, a senior executive editor from Mumbai, to help us understand and give a perspective of what has become a massive political slugfest over chanting the Hanuman Chalisa. We'll soon be joined by a Shiv Sena spokesperson, or at least someone who believes that what the government did in Maharashtra was correct. But let me begin till then with you, Shaina. These are independent lawmakers. They have taken their own decision. There appears to be that they have challenged the government and now they have faced arrest. Why is the BJP jumping in to support these two couple lawmakers?
Firstly, let me please say, in a country as large as India, where you have 130 crore Indians, there are bound to be opinions, counter-opinions. Now, if somebody wants to recite the Hanuman Chalisa, irrespective of which part of the state or the city it is, I don't understand why this hue and cry. Look at the kind of response of the MBA government. They have charged her with sedition. They have said that this is, creating unrest, intimidating enmity. All these various cases have been slapped on Navneet Rana and her husband. For what? For saying that I want to perform the Hanuman Chalisa outside Matushri.
Okay.
Now, if the Maharashtra state government doesn't have a issue, and to make this into an issue, I think it's very unfortunate. It's a cover-up for all their failures, all their shortcomings. And look at the reality. They did not even step out of their house. They did not have a protest or an andolan or even public accumulating, and there you have arrested them, put them in jail and filed FIR after FIR. I question, what are the charges? The Bharatiya Janata Party is very clear when it comes to this row that there should be the adherence to the Honorable High Court's guidelines, which is that there should not be any violation in the decimal levels, be it the Azan, be it the Hanuman Chalisa or anything.
Okay.
But to make this into an appeasement politics, a vote bank kind of issue where you have your own karyakartas create unlawfulness and unrest in a peaceful state like Maharashtra and Mumbai is unfortunate.
So their original plan primarily was to go toward Matoshri and start chanting the Hanuman Chalisa.
But they didn't.
They didn't.
The
That's
fact
correct.
is they didn't. And still you arrested them and you put them in jail.
All right. So that,
I mean, look
yes.
at the dichotomy of how you're trying to cover up your shortcomings, your...
So was it, okay, was it
core
simply to maintain law and order, or was this political vendetta? Shaina, stay on with me. I'll quickly go across to Sahil as well. Sahil, this has become a massive political slugfest, but this is also in many ways turning communal. This is about Hanuman Chalisa being recited at Matoshri, all of that. What is happening in Maharashtra? How has the Rana couple become the center of a BJP Shiv Sena political storm?
What it looks like is that there are three aspects to this whole story. I mean, is there a design behind this? Is the government acted in a haste and overreacted on the whole issue? Or is it actually the issue, how the Shaina was mentioning, that they simply wanted to go there and recite Hanuman Chalisa and the government overreacted? So we have to deal with these three issues. What we are seeing here, since the time the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi government was formed, in the initial days, the BJP was challenging the government on the issues of morality, especially the Shiv Sena, because they fought the elections together and the Shiv Sena broke up and then formed a government with Congress and NCP. They backstabbed them, was the whole issue which was being created by the BJP. Then during the COVID, it was a lethargic response to the whole COVID situation, the number of cases in Maharashtra. So basically the administrative issues, how the chief minister is not going out of his house, not touring the state despite various calamities, was another issue which was being picked up.
Yes.
Suddenly, after 2 years, there are two main issues which are being picked up. The issue which is being picked up by the BJP and others is basically with respect to the law and order situation and how Shiv Sena has given up Hindutva and is tilting towards the secular front, that is Congress and NCP, and they are creating some issues which ensures that Shiv Sena reacts to that, because they know that the Shiv Sena's cadre is developed on the issue of Hindutva, and
yes.
If that is challenged, then Shiv Sena has to react the way it used to react when Shiv Sena was a opposition party. Now that the Shiv Sena is in power, now the issue is being created. Suddenly, why this Rana couple came forward and started talking against the Shiv Sena, specifically Shiv Sena and the MVA government.
Correct.
The reason is very simple. Of course, there is a politics behind it. They were not doing it out of the pure mind. Ravi Rana was arrested in Amravati. There was some law and order issue. On the basis of that, Ravi Rana was arrested in Amravati, and after that, the Rana couple is being talking against the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi government. More than that, in 2019, both husband and wife, Navneet Rana for the Lok Sabha and Ravi Rana for Assembly, fought the election because they got support from the Congress NCP. They were independent candidates supported by the Congress NCP alliance. But after the election, the way Shiv Sena shifted to Congress and NCP, it was a clear political situation for the couple as well, that they have to speak against now Shiv Sena, because against Shiv Sena candidate, both these the husband and wife had won. So obviously they tilted towards the BJP, and now they have started picking up issues which actually the BJP is
very interesting. Very interesting, Shaina. Well, I do want to ask you that because BJP and Shiv Sena, on many ways, are on the same plank when it comes to ideology, which is that of the Hindutva or right-wing Hindu politics. Here, it is about who precisely is supporting that or not. So, how do you think this is really playing out? Do you think at this point, possibly, has the Shiv Sena fallen into a trap and trying to resolve the situation has got more than it can chew?
So I was just listening to what Sahil was saying. And as a political analyst or a journalist, you're welcome to assess a situation and say, oh, it could be because of this or that. But I want to give you a counter. As a citizen of this state and as a citizen of Mumbai, if I choose to recite the Hanuman Chalisa in any part, any place, and if it is within permissible noise limit and without agitation, why should anyone have a problem?
Does it have to be outside the Chief Minister's residence? There must be a security cordon.
But did they go? Did they go? The fact is they did not go. They were in their home. And despite that, you have arrested them on multiple charges. My limited point being, when you attack a chief minister, it's wrong. Yes, it's we should respect the constitution, respect the dignity of the chair. Yes. But when the chief minister of Maharashtra says that he should give one tight slap to Yogi Adityanath as a counter chief minister, is that not also an insult? Should he be booked and put behind bars and be put in jail? No, I mean, please, let's not have a misrepresentation of what we're talking about. We're talking about appeasement politics. We're talking about playing to the gallery. We're talking about covering up your shortcomings and creating a lawlessness in a state like Maharashtra, which has been peace-loving. If you have Mumbaikars come out on the street, be it Shiv Sena cadre or any other political party, is it not a communal divide? So let's answer these core questions and then go into the political analysis, which every journalist is
but Shaina, it is important to understand.
I want to answer
yes,
that.
Sahil, go ahead. And my added point here is because while this group said, or these MLAs said, we'll go, and MP said, we'll go and chant Hanuman Chalisa, they did not. But the point is then someone else will say something else and outside some other politician's house. But this is going to become a mayhem.
There are so many core issues to focus on. Who said what?
Sahil would like to respond. Sahil would like to. He understands political situation in Maharashtra fairly better.
I really want to talk about it. I raised two more points and which I wanted to talk about. Good that Shaina has already spoken about it. I really want to understand one thing, that why Hanuman Chalisa now? You know, what was the need? There was a pure politics playing on. Nobody is naive here. Everybody understands that the politics was being played. Now the question comes is that whether the government overreacted to the whole situation. See, Shiv Sena is getting into its own trap. Shiv Sena used to do exactly the same thing what the Rana couple is doing now, what the BJP is demanding now. Like, say, for an example, that open the temples, get rid of the COVID restrictions, etc., etc., picking up the issues with respect to Hindutva. When Shiv Sena was in power with the BJP and was a junior partner, not happy with the BJP, not happy with the Devendra Fadnavis government, they were picking up the same issues. They were bringing BJP, dragging BJP on the issues like Hindutva. Now, exactly the same thing is being played against Shiv Sena. And the Shiv Sena, obviously, to save brand Shiv Sena, have to react to the situation in this way. Now, the Rana couple, out of blue, suddenly announced that they will go in front of the Chief Minister's residence and recite Hanuman Chalisa. Now, everybody needs to understand that why suddenly everybody is talking about Hanuman Chalisa. It all started from the Gudi Padwa rally of MNS Chief Raj Thackeray, when he actually said that if the loudspeaker are not taken down from the masjids, he will ask his party workers to put loudspeakers in front.
And one of those attempts were made as well with the vehicle where the loudspeaker was put. Eventually, it was taken away and confiscated. So I'll stay on with me. We're now joined by Daniel Francis as a political analyst. Shiv Sena spokesperson has not really joined us for this discussion. We would have loved to hear from the Shiv Sena. But Daniel, here's the point. Even if they wanted to chant the Hanuman Chalisa, even if they were detained for a while, Daniel, sedition charge against an MP and MLA, both are lawmakers. They did not really go and break law and order at that point. How do you think this is being seen? Because this will deserve valid criticism. A sedition charge is a very strong charge that you're trying to create dissatisfaction against the government, to a certain extent against the nation. Did they really do that?
Yeah, sedition charge is, I think, a very, very strong charge, against people who are threatening to disturb public order and incite communal disharmony. That is also true because this could have happened. But it's a strong charge. The courts will decide whether it can be dropped or not, or how many charges of that can be dropped. We have also seen that Jignesh Mewani was picked up for some tweet that he's done by Assam police, and they came and they've taken him. There are no details why he's been arrested. So there are things like that that are happening all over the country where political parties...
In this case, do you think this couple should have been slapped with a sedition charge apart from 153, 135 and 353 that are also strong charges of enmity, violation of order?
I am not in a position of deciding which charges should be put on this couple, but this couple did threaten public order, incite communal disharmony. That is true. And this is part of a political campaign that's brewing in Maharashtra, and which was started by that's almost started by all political parties in opposition now. The MNS, the BJP, and this couple that is, kind of a clone of the opposition party, particularly the BJP. And they should have been...
Daniel, China NC from the BJP is on this discussion.
Definitely stopped. How they should have been stopped, that is the lookout of the government. But they should have definitely been stopped. And for the kind of competitive and communal politics that they were trying to spin.
Why do you think Hanuman Chalisa trying to sing it at Matoshi or anywhere is communal?
Can I come in, Pooja?
Shaina, quickly, because we'll give Daniel also the time to speak.
I don't understand where they should have been stopped, because they didn't start with. They were in their home. They didn't even step out. They had stalled the entire Hanuman Chalisa, because we know that they even made a statement that the Prime Minister was coming to
were, I think, protesting outside their house.
Daniel, is law and order not a state subject? If you have the administration agitating on the streets and creating this kind of political unrest, is that not a question which needs to be understood?
Let Daniel take that question.
Answered? Is there some soul searching? I mean, look at the charges with which you've charged them. Keep it aside who it is. Tomorrow it could be anybody other from any other state or any other viewpoint.
I want to ask Shaina.
Now, if you have an agitation on the street and you go out and do it...
Daniel, go ahead. Shaina, let's hear him speak. Let's hear him. He joined us late. Let's hear him speak.
I want to ask Shaina ji. No, I want to ask her. What are the charges against Jignesh Mewani? What are the charges against Jignesh Mewani? What has he done?
Look, this is not a competition as to who's done what and who's said what. And I'm not here to defend anyone. The fact is, if you have the state government making it into a law and order situation with communal disharmony, I think that's something that they cover up for their shortcomings. They have not worked on core issues, and that's why they're digressing into this unnecessary lost identity and lost ideology and vote bank appeasement.
Suddenly, we are seeing a rise of very hardcore politics, which is not like Maharashtra politics. If you want to come to power, go to the people and tell them how bad this government is and expose this government on the fronts that they need to be exposed.
Are you saying this is trying to divert from the core issues of Maharashtra?
Yes.
Why and how?
And this is a template that is happening in all over the country.
By whom? The government of the
day. Don't bring it to Maharashtra and spoil the political culture and the political temper of this of the state and the city. On one hand, just you have no answer for Jignesh Mewani.
Who is spoiling the atmosphere in Maharashtra, Daniel? Because these are two independent lawmakers.
Independent lawmakers supported by whom? Whom? Who are the people who are supporting them? And why are they on the streets?
From where to where are you digressing? Stick to the core issue. What have you charged them for?
Want to play Hanuman Chalisa outside Matoshri.
One second. Let's put a reference to context to this Hanuman Chalisa debate as well.
Shaina, you want to take that?
What has been the BJP's stand from the beginning? We have said that the High Court has definitely said what the decibel levels should be. If there is any community that is violating that, action should be taken. The MVA government didn't take action. Forget action. They have only played vote bank politics here. So if they have not taken action against people who are misusing the law and the azan being a calling from God, Why shouldn't Hindus or people who are of a certain philosophy be allowed the Hanuman Chalisa within the decibel levels? And here, this is a member of parliament is saying that I want to recite the Hanuman Chalisa wherever I choose to. Despite
when
that,
you were in power for 5 years, no, I want to ask Shaina, when you were in power,
let Daniel answer.
And you have put them in jail.
Let Daniel have that counter.
This is the reference to context. Please highlight that.
Shaina, fair enough. Let him answer.
Pooja, highlight this.
I'm asking you, you are in power in the country. You were in power for 5 years in Maharashtra with Shiv Sena. That time you never brought a law to make, Hanuman Chalisa part of a public life. In Maharashtra or in the country.
Forget that, sir. I just have a simple question. Did they go out and do it, or they stalled it? They stalled it. They didn't go ahead. It's like me saying that I will come and put black ink on your face, but I did not do it. And still you have booked me for it.
Such things when you are in the government? Why don't you implement things?
Daniel, do you also think
this
is becoming communal? Because it has to be about
BJP governments are implementing this public display of
we do not take law into our hands, sir.
Okay. Daniel, do you think this Azan versus Hanuman Chalisa is becoming a big political face-off, and therefore it has to be ensured, irrespective, that the decibel levels are kept low, is what Shania is saying. She's saying because there is one group, one community that's not adhering to that, so there are people who also think Hanuman Chalisa being chanted anywhere is fine.
Anything that flares up communal tension between communities, disturb the peace and order of cities and the villages and the states and this country should be condemned.
Yes.
Okay. And if the motive of any political outfit and political person is to incite communal disharmony, is wrong.
Sahil, Sahil, for lack of time, I request Sahil for that. Yes. For that perspective, Sahil, there's some news coming in, but I do want you to help us understand, where do you think this is now going to go for Maharashtra? Will it stop, or will it escalate to a very different level of politics in the state?
No, I'm really sure that this is going to escalate to the different level of politics because the elections are approaching. Just few days back, there was an election in Maharashtra, North Kolhapur, the Baipur, and the main agenda in that election, of course, was Hindutva. On the basis of Hindutva, the campaign was made there. I can clearly see that upcoming municipal corporation elections in Mumbai and 10 other big cities in Maharashtra is going to see such kind of campaign again. And that's why this is going to flare up. This issue is not going to die down. The verdict of Supreme Court had come in 2005. This is 2022. And the issue of loudspeaker is still there. It's being raked up. Shiv Sena Chief Bala Sahib Thackeray has been talking about it since the last 30-40 years. So nothing happened in that.
So is it
Whenever
just
there is a political situation,
is it a fair demand? Is it a fair demand, or is it much more? Sahil, I'll have to interrupt you there. I apologize for that, but I want to thank Shaina and Daniel for your views, and we can only hope that law and order does maintain. But remember, the Rana couple currently under arrest with a sedition charge against them. I'm closing this show, and at this point, we'll have a lot more to cover on this. The developing story will continue to bring you the latest.